We have now reached the C in radical, which is concerned with continuous practices. And when we talk about continuous practices, one of the claims that I run into with companies from time to time is that they claim that their customers do not want DevOps, which initially I thought was a reasonable argument. You may have customers that are extremely conservative, but when I started to hear this a number of times, I started to get a bit suspicious. It looked to me that the individual claiming that customers didn't want DevOps seemed to have the most to gain by not changing things internally. In general, I cannot figure out why would a customer or anyone else not want to have a better and improved solution than what they're using today. What could possibly be an argument for not wanting to make things better? And it seems to me that if you believe that you deliver new functionality that is valuable to customers and they say they don't want it, either you're building the wrong stuff or there are some exterior or external arguments why customers say no to upgrades into DevOps. And in my experience, there are three major factors that play a role here. The first is quality concerns. Many companies claim that they have good quality in their offerings. However, if an upgrade or a new deployment of software has a significant or reasonable chance of causing issues, many customers basically will simply refuse to move to the next version because the risk of issues appearing after an update is considered to be a bigger problem than the value of new functionality. So even though DevOps actually requires a higher quality level than traditionally deployed software, I mean, let's face it, if you run into the same issue maybe once or twice a year, you're often willing to live with it and use some kind of workaround. But if the same issue pops up every 2 weeks or something along those lines, you will want to get that work prioritized because you don't want to deal with that stuff all the time. The second topic is deployment cost. Many companies have a tendency to focus a lot on the functionality inside the product and ignore all the topics surrounding the product, including areas and difficulty of installation and deployment. If deploying a new version of software is painful or very effort consuming, customers will simply either ask you to reduce the release frequency, or they will ignore new versions because they feel that there's so much work that comes with deploying a new version of the software that they simply don't want to prioritize it. So the obvious implication is this, that rather than cranking out yet another feature to the system, the idea should be that you should focus on simplifying the deployment and making it as seamless as possible, and preferably achieve a situation where the customer doesn't require to put in any effort for the upgrade or the new version that you are deploying. In an ideal situation, whenever you release new software, the system should update itself without even the customer knowing about that this is happening. Of course, there may be legal constraints and other concerns, but by and large, you should aim for a situation where all customers are always on the latest version of the software. The final one is compatibility issues when it comes to the integration between the system and other systems that your customers may interface with. If every DevOps deployment requires the customer to rebuild or update or change the integrations between your offering and other systems that they integrate with, the cost of upgrading for the customer will become so high that they do not achieve the benefits that DevOps would actually provide. So here, your challenge should be to focus on architectural work where you offer stable interfaces that do not change or change very infrequently, and new deployments of software can be installed and deployed without causing any of these kind of integration issues with customers. To conclude, in my experience, customers want better solutions if that is what you are building for them, which I hope you're building, because otherwise you're building the wrong functionality. However, if they don't want it, it's not because they are a bunch of old-fashioned conservative stick-in-the-muds, but there are underlying reasons why the perceived cost or risk of adopting a new deployment is higher than what the value is that this deployment provides to your customers. So what you have to do is you have to take away the excuses for why customers would not want to update. Because in the end, you really want to avoid a situation where every customer is on a different version of your software, and they may call you at any point in time asking you to please fix the issue in their specific release of the software that you maybe haven't even touched for the last 18 months. You want everyone on the same version, and the best way to achieve that is to use DevOps and remove all the excuses that customers might have to not adopt DevOps.